Well, it's time to talk hot topics this morning with our panel. And here's an issue. Melbourne Girls College will have to reshoot their school photographs after a number of students' images were heavily airbrushed. Now, we're sort of used to seeing this thing on mag covers, but should it be happening in traditional school photographs? For their take this morning, Miranda Devine from the Daily Telegraph and commentator Peter Berner join us, one and all. Welcome in the studio. And from Melbourne, educator Sharon Witt from Melbourne. Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning, Kerri-Anne.
Sharon, as an educator,
Huge topic.
What is your reaction to kids, young schoolgirls, having their photographs airbrushed?
Kerri-Anne, I'm very, very upset about this, and I think this sends an absolute toxic message to our young girls that it's okay to airbrush them and to get rid of blemishes and get rid of, things that aren't quite correct on them perhaps, and it sends a message that they're not good enough. And I think this was a really poor judgment in this situation. Excuse me. But the other thing we need to remember, Kerri-Anne, is this practice has actually been happening for quite some time. There are actually a number of companies that are offering now airbrushing as an option on school photographs.
But do you actually have, if you're a young girl and a young guy, you're 15 or 16, do you have to live with that big pimple on your photograph in that book for the rest of your life and have everybody at the school see said same photograph? Isn't that a little unfair when it's so easily airbrushed out?
Well, actually, Kerri-Anne, I think it's kind of a little bit of a rite of passage of being a teenager. I mean, if you look at my Year 12 photo, was appalling. I was trying to go blonde. I had a bad perm and I had handlebars for, at the side of my hair.
Oh, Year 12, sorry.
Year 12. And, Kerri-Anne, I think it's a rite of passage, and I think we forget that this is a part of being a teenager, going through the pimples, the bad hair, and they're things that we're going to look at. And, there's very few teenagers who actually look at their photo and say, wow, I love it, don't I look fantastic? And I think we need to be realistic that this is actually a part of being a teenager. It's part of growing up. We do go through changes in our body. We do have bad hair days. We do have pimples and blemishes. But to start airbrushing these out really sets us up for, I think, failure, and it sets up a really, really poor example there that I think is going to really be difficult. I had many young girls contact me during the night, Kerri-Anne, and parents just saying, this is appalling. And one young girl said to me, what message is this sending to us? You're telling us to love ourselves for who we are, and we're told in school to develop healthy self-esteem, and then we're then given the option to airbrush, our braces out.
Okay,
or,
well, terrific,
our
Sharon.
pimples.
Thank you so much. I do actually hear you. It's so easy to sort of have a little bit of fun with this issue, but I do hear you. And Sharon Witt from Melbourne, thank you. As I said, Peter Berner and Miranda here. Just a quickie on this, Miranda. What do you reckon? Are we getting a bit too excited, or is it a rite of passage?
Look, I think it's ridiculous to be photoshopping school photos. You shouldn't be, and especially without the permission of the kids.
And Peter, I just know you'll have something to say. Would you have liked your photo to have been airbrushed?
Don't get me started on bad hair days. I know women. I knew women who would happily go back and airbrush every school photo they had in the 80s. Look, I think if you say to a child, "Do you feel traumatised about this?" You're dangling the carrot, and they'll go, "Yeah, I'm traumatised." I think a little bit of Jetstar, suck it up, princess, really and truly. It was a mistake by the school, sure, but if you're going to start condemning the airbrushing industry, then you kiss goodbye to the magazine industry.
They'll actually have me do it.
And I think the girls wouldn't have minded if they were looking better, but I think they were made to look more sedate and a bit daggier. So that's
really?
That's what they objected to.
I reckon just get better photographers.